Hello BookTube! I'm here today with my October wrap-up. So what did I read in October? Well, let's talk about audiobooks first. I started one, Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan. It's the 10th book in the Wheel of Time series, and I'm still continuing on with it in November. I didn't DNF it. I would never DNF this series. I'm at book 10. I have to see it through. And when I say more of the same adventure, I don't mean same in a bad way. I mean as in more of a comfortable, familiar way. I'm familiar with the characters, the writing style, and definitely the voices of the narrators. Another audiobook that I finished is Gormenghast by Mervyn Peake, and this is the second book in the Gormenghast series, and it's beautiful. The writing is phenomenal. It's definitely not a plot-heavy book. If you don't like it, don't like character, word, atmospheric books, then maybe this isn't for you. I don't know why you wouldn't like an atmospheric book, but whatever. So it's more, the writing embodies the kind of like the physicality and the atmosphere of the Gormenghast castle and lands, and the characters within it. It is such a beautiful and strange and awesome book. And then I read an e-comic, and that was Injustice: Gods Among Us Year 5. I reread Volume 1, and then read up the comics that would make up Volume 2. It hasn't been released officially yet. I just read the single issues. And I love it, but I'm really kind of upset that it wasn't the end like it was supposed to be. It says, the concluding chapter in this super long series, and it's not finished. They're doing another Injustice thing, and I just wish sometimes people would just stop beating dead horses. J.K. Rowling. So yeah, let's talk about the other graphic novels I read. Captain Canuck, Volume 1, Aleph. This is the reinvention of Captain Canuck for the 21st century, and I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to moving on with this series and learning more about the team, especially Quebec, and I'll show you her here. Right there. And I especially liked that her section, because she gets the whole back section and explain her backstory and stuff, was almost exclusively in French, which threw me for a loop. My French is kind of rusty, but I got through it with the help of a little translation. I'm just showing you some of the art in there. Yeah. Then, another graphic novel I read is The Tale of One Bad Rat by Brian Talbot. This is a contained story, just this single volume, about a young girl fascinated with Beatrix Potter, and she runs away from an abusive home. My problem with it was that it was a little bit too convenient and rushed for me, the solution to this big problem, but the art was quite bright and colorful. I really enjoyed that part. And on to the books. So The N-Body Problem by Tony Burgess is totally not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be about zombies in space, because there's zombies in space. It says zombies in space on the back. What I wasn't prepared for was a shock story, which really challenges you to finish it. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you're not willing to put up with gross imagery, don't read this. If you can't appreciate the psychological torment behind all that imagery, of both the reader and the main character and the writing style, maybe give this a skip, but I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was pretty nifty. Then we read, which is probably my favorite book of the month, The Frankenstein Murders by Kathleen Bradshaw. It's about a detective investigating the murders committed by Frankenstein's monsters. It's kind of Frankenstein meets Sherlock in the style of Dracula, with the letters and the diary entries, and it feels like a classic. The writing style and everything feels like a classic. And I really enjoyed this too, because it confirmed one of my university theses that I wrote about Frankenstein, which I won't tell you about because it will spoil the book. Then we have Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice, which is another surprise. It's definitely not as action-packed as the movie. It's more of a philosophical exploration of vampirism, what it means to be a vampire, what it means to be immortal, the kind of morality issues that vampires encounter. I'm talking as if this is like a non-fiction book about a real creature, but you know, it's really good. Just if you're expecting a plot-heavy horror book, you're not gonna like it, but still give it a go because it's really cool. Then I read Your Fathers, Where Are They? And the Prophets, Do They Live Forever? By Dave Eggers. And this is really cool. It's a book told entirely through dialogue. And it's between a kidnapper and the various people that he kidnaps. And it's not a scary type of kidnapping. It is more of a, you're not paying attention to me, I need you to answer some questions for me, so I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna chain you up to a radiator, and we're gonna get this done. And it asks a lot of questions that I think a lot of Gen Xers and a lot of millennials face in the 21st century about the purpose of their lives. And I thought it was really good, a really good examination of that. It doesn't really give you answers, it still leaves you the questions, but still well worth read. It's Dave Eggers, I mean, come on. Next is The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. It's not nearly as scary as the movie, although there are some really angering, passionate scenes. And I guess it really kind of reflects the time it was written in. Wasn't all that great for me, to be honest. And lastly, this, it's my second favorite book of the month. Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. It is a feat of imagery. The metaphors are completely out of the box, but they work to create such a wonderful atmosphere of strangeness, but comfort at the same time, and it's amazing. Read this book. So that's it. I finished 11 books this month. I astonished myself. I really am liking this reading more than one book at a time thing. So I'm looking forward to what November brings. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite book of October was, and thank you for watching.